The information provided by Trading Forex Price Action to you does not constitute personal financial advice. The information provided is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice.
Weekly Forecast.
Hey guys, this is a weekly forecast for July 5th through the 9th of 2021. Alright, we'll start off with the Euro-USD pair. This is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since this price action right here is very strong short, and this move still have no ways to go, in the long term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, because of a breakout of this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here, and the breakout being right here, in the medium term, I'm long biased right back up to this pivot high right here. However, on the weekly chart, since there's more strength short than long, in the short term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, let's talk entries. Alright, this is a weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So there was a strong short trade right here, then a weak long trade formed right here. So as price pulled back, I was looking for short entries right back down to this pivot low right here. And the same thing happened, another weak long trade formed. So as price pulled back again, I was looking for short entries right back down to this pivot low right here. And again, the same thing happened. So another weak long trade formed. So as price pulled back all the way near the last weekly short trade stop loss level, which is at this pivot high right here. And so if you recall, I took a short entry roughly a month ago at 1.2250 with a stop loss at this pivot high up here, with this main target being right back down here where the last weekly longs stop loss level is right here. And 2 weeks after that short entry, another weekly short trade formed right here, which was again stronger than the last weekly long trade. So at that point, I brought down the stop loss for that first trade, which is up here at this pivot right here, right down to this new pivot high right here. And then in the following week, if you recall, I took another short trade at this 1.2130 level right here. Again, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here, and this main target being right back down here. Alright, so let me show you how I'm managing both those trades. So let's go over to the 4-hour chart. Alright, so on this 4-hour chart, if you recall in the midweek analysis, I mentioned I was going to take out 90% of both trades before Friday's NFP release, which was right here. And so I took out 90% of both trades at this 1.1830 level right here. And at this point, I'm leaving 10% of both trades to see if it could get past that main target we were talking about earlier. So let me just brush up on this whole trade setup we've been going through for the past month. So first of all, I took a short trade at this 1.2250 level up here, with the stop loss at that weekly pivot high that I showed you earlier. Then as price was falling at this point, if you recall, I was always looking for compact long price action to form, in which case if it did form, I would abort the short trade altogether. However, it did not form in this area. Then about a week later, there was a fake 1-hour double bottom that formed right here. That shows short-term, short strength. However, the NFP was released soon after and price disregarded all short-term price action, and price got right through the level that the fake 1-hour double bottom dictates price should not reach. However, if you recall, I was mentioning that the NFP does distort short-term price action. Thus, although there was a pullback and a range, I'll still maintain that short position. And as price fell again in this area right here, another strong weekly short trade formed like I showed you earlier. So at that point, I brought down that original trade stop loss, which was at that first weekly short trades pivot high, right back down to the new weekly short trades pivot high, which was right here. Then as price pulled back, price gave me a nice pullback to entice me to take another short trade because the stop loss was now at a closer level right here. And so I took another short entry at this 1.2130 level right here. Then as price fell down to these levels, if you recall, I was mentioning there was a fake 4-hour HNS that formed right here, which shows short-term short strength, and thus price should not reach its target height level, roughly at this 1.1998 level right here. So at this point, I brought down both stop losses to this point to make sure that I can maximize my profits For if price does reach this fake HNS's target height level, that will dictate that although there was short-term short strength, if price reaches this level, that would show that there was even more long strength in the short term. However, price did not reach that target height level and reached this fake HNS's stop loss level at this right shoulder right here. And thus at this point, that short-term strength was confirmed. Thus I brought back both those stop losses right back to its original stop loss level right here. Then last week in my midweek analysis, as price fell, I was mentioning I was going to take out 90% of both positions before the NFP is released at this point due to overall trade management issues. Alright, so again at this point, I'm leaving 10% in of both positions to see if price will get to that main target of that weekly longs pivot low and even beyond that main target. Alright, so in terms of future levels I'm looking at in terms of targets for the remaining short positions I'm holding, let me show you that on the monthly chart. Alright, so on this monthly chart, again, that main target is at this pivot low right here. Now in terms of levels, I'm looking at past that price level are some monthly gap levels. So this entire area from this level right here all the way down to this price level right here, there are many monthly gaps in these levels. So the lower part of these gaps are formed at these levels right here. Well, there's a combination of many gaps at these levels right here. And this upper gap right here is from price action way back. So let me just show you that real quick. Alright, so the upper gap is way back from 2003 at this gap right here. Okay. Alright, so at this point, in terms of the remaining 10% of both those positions, first of all, I'll be watching if price could get right back down to that main target right here at this pivot low. And moreover, considering there are many gap levels on this monthly chart all the way down to these levels, I'll be constantly watching for any price patterns that show long strength in the short term. And moreover, like always, any compact long price action that may form. Now, the difference between these two price characteristics is that even if a price pattern forms that shows short-term long strength, I may not abort those short trades. However, if compact long price action forms, I would immediately abort both remaining positions of those short trades. Alright, and if you're having trouble understanding what I'm talking about in terms of gaps and fake price patterns and whatnot, please watch my price action trading course, where that course is designed to provide you the necessary information to understand these forecasts. Alright, so let's go on to the Euro-Yen pair. Alright, this is a weekly chart. We'll start off with an overview. Alright, so there's an announcement I have to make. Upon reanalysis of this pair, last week I was mentioning that the last weekly long trade that formed was right here. However, upon reanalyzing, I found that this weekly long trade right here was actually a fake, and thus the last weekly long trade that formed is still this weekly long trade right here from several months ago. Okay, so in terms of the overview, the last weekly long trade that formed was right here, with the stop loss at its pivot low right here. And then 3 weeks ago, there was possibly compact short price action that formed right here, which dictates strong short strength. However, in order to confirm the legitimacy of this compact short price action, I'm waiting for price to come right back down and stop out the last daily long trade stop loss level, which is right here. So in the long term, I am neutral biased. However, although there isn't full confirmation of the legitimacy of this compact price action, there was a fake daily HNS that formed right here, which dictates short-term long strength. However, price still pushed through right to its target height level right here, which does slightly confirm the legitimacy of this compact short price action. So in the short term, I am short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Alright, let's talk entries. Okay, we'll stay on this weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So the last weekly long trade that formed was right here, with a stop loss at this pivot low right here. Then as price came up, there was a weak short trade that formed right here. And so as price pulled back, I was looking for long entries right up to this pivot high as a target. And then another weak short trade formed right here. So again, as price pulled back, I was looking for long trades right up to this new pivot high as a target. Then at these points right here, there were consecutive short trades that formed that were actually stronger than the last weekly long trade. However, both these short trades hit its target on a monthly gap level, roughly in these areas right here. And so again, I was long biased right up to this pivot high right here. Now at this point, there was a possible compact short price action that formed right here 2 weeks ago. And although the compact short price action was not confirmed yet, there was a fake daily HNS that formed right here that slightly confirmed the legitimacy of this compact price action. And so if you recall, last week I took a short trade at this 132.20 level right here, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its main target for the time being at this weekly longs pivot low right here. Alright, so let me just show you how I'm managing this short trade. So let's go over to the daily chart. Alright, again on this daily chart, that fake daily HNS that formed was right here, and that possible compact short price action formed right here. And thus I took a short trade at this 132.20 level right here, with a stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its main target way down at that weekly long stop loss level. Now at this point, what I'm looking at in terms of more confirmation of this compact short price action that formed right here is, if you recall, for price to fall right back down to stop out the last daily long stop loss level, which is at this pivot low right here. Now, although this does confirm the legitimacy of this compact price action to a degree, there's also the possibility that this last weekly long trade already hit its target at weekly gap levels right at these levels right here. Thus, if price does pull back right down to these levels to stop out this daily long trade stop loss level right here, it does add a little bit of more confirmation to the legitimacy of this compact short price action. However, it is not 100%. So at this point, in terms of confirmation of this compact short price action, I'll be watching future price action for any types of price patterns that could provide me hints of short-term long strength or short strength. And moreover, like always, I'm always watching for any compact long price action to form which shows strong long strength, in which case if this forms, I would abort the trade altogether. However, at this point, although the legitimacy of this compact short price action is not 100%, it is leaning on the legitimate side. And so if all things remain equal, if I get another nice pullback right up to these 132.60 to 132.20 levels up here, I'm considering taking another short entry with, again, the stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its main target for the time being at the last weekly long trade stop loss level way down below. Okay, so let's go on to the USD-JPY pair. Okay, this is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So ultimately, I'm still expecting price to reach this 101 pivot low right here. However, before that, I was talking about the pullback to 104, then the 109, and then down to 101. So in the long term, I'm still short biased right back down to this 101 pivot low right here. However, since I'm still waiting for this long momentum to wane a bit, in the short term, I'm short biased. Okay, let's talk entries. Alright, this is a weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So the last weekly long trade that formed was right here with the stop loss at this pivot low right here. And so I took a long entry right up to this 109 level right here, which was also a strong monthly trend line level. At that point, I took out the entire position. Then as price got beyond that trend line level right here, if you recall, I was mentioning in terms of price action, there was still a lot of long strength left right here. And as price pulled back to these levels right here, there was a strong daily long trade that formed right here with a stop loss at this pivot low right here. And so I took another long trade. However, I took very small targets right at these levels right here. However, if you recall, I left 10% in to see if we could get a little bit further. Then consecutively, after the strong daily long trade that formed right here, there were many weak short trades that formed consecutively. And so if you recall, I was mentioning this type of price action is very common in terms of strong long strength. And so I left 10% in it right up to this price level in this area where there was a strong monthly trend line. And so I took another 5% out of the position. And so at this point, I only have 5% in that last long position I took. Now let me show you what I'm looking at in terms of that long-term bias all the way down to that 101 pivot low. So let's go over to the monthly chart. All right, so on this monthly chart, the price levels I'm looking at for price not to close above is, first of all, this horizontal level right here from this pivot right here. However, more importantly, these wicks right here at these pivot highs. And this one right here. So if price does start to close above these levels, mainly on the monthly chart. However, even signs of monthly closes into these levels and above on the daily and weekly charts will persuade me to change my long-term bias from short into neutral. And so for the time being, I'm watching for this momentum long to start waning at these levels that we're currently at right now. So two things I'm looking for in terms of waning momentum or even possible short trades is, one, for compact short price action to form at these levels right here. And moreover, in terms of waning long momentum, I want to see 2 weekly red candles to form. So let's just go over to the weekly chart. Alright, so on this weekly chart, if I could get 2 red candles to form consecutively, showing waning long momentum on the weekly chart. Now again, this has to be on the weekly chart because this weekly long move is based on a weekly long trade to begin with. And so for the next couple of weeks, I'll be watching if these 2 red weekly candles form. And again, in terms of short trades, I'm always watching for any compact short price action to form at current price levels. And finally, in terms of the last 5%, I'm holding in that long position. I'm considering bringing that stop loss on that daily long trade to break even. Where at this point, in terms of the direction of future price, in my case, it's quite difficult to read. Okay, so that's it for the weekly forecast. I hope you guys have a great week, and thanks for watching. Alright, bye.